Let's sing together. Have a stand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Morning has come, arise and greet the day. Dance with joy and sing a song of gladness. The light of love here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home. A new day dawns, once more the gift is given. Wonder fills these moments shared together. The light of peace here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home. Open our eyes to see that life abounds. Open hearts to welcome it among us. The light of love here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home. Oh, we got another one. Where are you going? Come on, we're still singing. This is my song, O God of all the nations, a song of peace for lands afar and mine. This is my home, the country where my heart is. Thee are my hopes, my dreams, my holy shrine. But other hearts in other lands are beating with hopes and dreams as true and high as mine. My country's skies are bluer than the ocean, and the sunlight beams on clover leaf and pine. But other lands have sunlight too, and clover, and skies are everywhere as blue as mine. Oh, hear my song, thou God of all the nations, a song of peace for their land and for mine.
Welcome, welcome. You have come to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta, to this place where we are making our faith home here, upon land first nurtured and inhabited by the Muskogee Creek indigenous people who were driven out by forced migration and trauma. We recognize that trauma even as we celebrate our own arrival to this beautiful piece of land, this beautiful piece of heaven on earth. I am Reverend Taryn Strauss, and I welcome you here and cherish you. If you love God and call it God, if you believe many faiths hold congruent truths, if you do not pray to God, but you still pray to a love greater than us all, you are welcome here. If you are queer, if you are transgender, if you are a religious nomad, if you are wheelchair bound, if you are young, if you are elder, you are welcome here. We cherish you. If you are grieving, celebrating, struggling just to function, you are welcome and cherished. So welcome to the UUCA. Welcome home. I am so thrilled to also welcome on our chancel today a number of folks leading worship with us. Of course, there's Don Milton III, our music director, Willie Sullivan on keys. Mark Williams will be joining us today on violin. Laura Beth Brown, our director of Lifespan Religious Education. We've got Rich Hammett, Sean Golan, and at this time, I would love to welcome our liturgist, Ellen Beatty, to lead this morning's chalice lighting. Say it with me now. May the light of this flame illuminate our tradition of seeking, invite all who yearn for acceptance, and ignite our passion for justice and peace. Ooh, it's so small. I have to light the flame in our hearts today. Thank you, Mark. Something special is happening here today at UCA. If you are new or visiting, this is the day we have decided to have our water communion, water celebration. It's a way to mark a momentous time of endings and beginnings. The water communion was a gift to us all from out of the spirituality of Unitarian Universalist women who honored water's presence as vital to all life. Eons ago, life was born out of it. Life is impossible without it. And so we honor water's power. Give it enough time and it will carve stone, it will leave grand canyons in its wake. But water is also a symbol of surpassing beauty, the depth of spiritual life. As when we sing, there is a river flowing in my soul. Or when the poet says, my soul has grown deep like the rivers. And then there's the way water symbolizes beloved community, as drops of rain that find each other and build to become a track, a rivulet, a stream, a river, a sea. So are we drawn together. So are we bound together on this shared passage toward an unknown ocean and eternity. And this is where the ritual comes in. People have washed their souls clean in ancient, dusky rivers. To seek a soul that has grown deep is to return to the water's edge and let water purify your spirit so you might rise to meet another day, a new season, refreshed. Often our water communion service is our ingathering and signals a return to one another and to our spiritual community after a summer away. This year, we allow the water communion ritual to help us welcome in a new season together just after the equinox. May the water return us to a renewal of our soul's deepest promise, our promise to offer grace to ourselves and each other, our promise to treat each other with dignity in a time of indignity everywhere, our promise to follow health guidelines to reduce risk for ourselves and others, our promise to stay curious rather than judgmental. This is where Spirit leads us, back to each other, with grace unfurling, loosening our judgment, relaxing our anger, and making a way for love to flow within, among, and beyond us all. So I invite you now, if you brought water from home or from a beautiful spot you visited or a precious spot, precious to your family or to your heart, bring that water forward. Choose any bowl, and you can come forward and pour your water into one of these bowls, which will then join a common bowl now. water is sacred. It is made sacred by the many hands that have poured it with intention and love, the many stories that each drop contains, the many lives surrounding it in this unique moment, connected by commitment and faith. Say it with me now. The water is sacred.
The water is sacred. The water is sacred. May it continue to flow through this community with shining reflections of the unique gifts that flow through each of its members. The water is sacred.
May it continue to nurture this community with sustaining hope that we journey together through ripples of growth and change.
The water is sacred. May its purity offer grace to our community and the willingness to forgive ourselves and one another when we make mistakes. The water is sacred.
In moments where we are confused or uncertain, may it bring us clarity of purpose and commitment.
The water is sacred. The water wears a path leading to the unknown. The water is sacred.
May the water remind us we travel hand in hand, never alone.
The water is sacred. Let there be a river flowing in the soul.
May our souls grow deep like the rivers.
Our water celebration now comes to an end.
Amen.
So I would like to invite the Gagne Nobis family to the chancel to lead this morning's movement prayer. So please rise in body or spirit and join us. Spread out right across there. First, we bow to honor the Spirit of life. We lift our arms and embrace the gifts of Spirit. We bring these gifts unto ourselves with gratitude and breathe and smile. We share these gifts with the world. We remember to be present, honor, embrace, gratitude, share, be present. Amen. Blessed be. Thank y'all. Thank you, Gree. So at this time, we would like to invite our children, third grade and under, to exit and join their preschool or their creative workshop for the morning. Please note that the kindergarten through third graders meet upstairs in room 220 for their workshop this morning. And so as our children recess, please take this opportunity to greet your neighbor.
I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got tears like the raindrops. I've got tears like the raindrops. I've got tears like the raindrops in my soul. I've got tears like the raindrops. I've got tears like the raindrops. I've got tears like the raindrops in my soul.
Let us put hands upon hearts and feel the heartbeat, connection to life. Breathe in peace. Say to yourself silently, I will love myself. I will love others. And that love can heal the world. At this time, we hear joys and sorrows of this congregation. We send our joyful love, congratulations to Lisa and John Guyton's daughter, Alex, who was married on September 24th to Andrew Fulman. The wedding was held in Potomac, Maryland, where the new couple recently purchased a home. Alex grew up attending UUCA RE programs from first grade all the way up to senior high. We wish them all love and happiness in their lives together. Please send love and condolences to Chris Casario. Chris's father, who was in the later stages of dementia, passed away on Monday, September 19th. Comforting messages or cards, texts are greatly appreciated. Contact information is in the weekly update. Let your thoughts turn now to someone in your life, someone in your world who you are holding in your heart this morning, someone in need of some loving energy, healing energy coming their way, please write their names in the live chat or speak their names into this holy space now. May all beings be at peace. Spirit of life, love eternal, we rest for a moment in holy gratitude. We surrender to a mystery beyond ourselves, asking forgiveness for our mistakes, those times we have been selfish or thoughtless. Breathing in and out, we offer grace. We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. Breathing in, we honor the earth that supports and sustains life. We open our hearts to wonder for just one moment, feeling deep connection with all beings, that life force that flows within and among. Now let us calm our bodies and our minds. We breathe in peace and we exhale. We relax into this space that our intentions make sacred. We enter into the silence.
I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got strength like a mountain. I've got strength like a mountain. I've got strength like a mountain in my soul. I've got strength like a mountain. I've got strength like a mountain. I've got strength like a mountain in my soul.
Space, a final frontier.
Captain's log, stardate 100331.51. The mysterious plague the illness that has plagued the galaxy continues to make progress challenging. The USS UUCA remains in uncharted space beyond the comfy system. We left Treehouse Station on a mission to seek out new life through courageous action and soulful connection.
Captain, our course toward the future nebula is uncertain. These are perilous times. The logical thing to do is to turn back.
Spock, if we turn back now, we'll never fulfill our mission or know how many lives could be transformed.
But Captain...
Spock, the USS UUCA and its crew have been a pillar of support, a balm of peace in these trying times, a bright star showing me a way forward through service, connection, and action. UUCA is a beacon of hope for me in a galaxy that so often looks dark these days. You and everyone a part of this community help support me so that I am not just surviving, but learning and growing, even in this pandemic.
But Captain, our supplies will run out long before we reach our destination. Our estimated operating budget and stewardship goal is set at $1.1 million. I cannot predict a logical course for how we could possibly amass those resources.
If 1.1 million is what we need, we'll make it, Spock. I don't know exactly how, but I believe in you, this staff, and our crew. I know each member has something to contribute. We'll be reaching out to each member individually, in person if we can. I know they'll answer the call and rise to the challenge. Our mission and goal are clear. This is the best ship and crew in the galaxy. We have to trust that there is something logic cannot calculate, that their talents and generosity will get us there and beyond. What do you say, Spock? Are you with me?
Live long and prosper.
Set a course to the future. Engage. Thank you. And in the spirit of going above and beyond our dreams for this beloved community, today we officially launch our stewardship campaign. And we also launch this morning's offering, which will now be given and gratefully received.
So many of us in leadership, on staff, and your board of trustees, I think can be confusing sometimes because we identify as both institutionalists and futurists. We love this community and what it has been. We love it for what it is now, and we love what it will become. And we think it needs to do a little better to become what it will become. And that's the work of faith, isn't it? I mean, that's kind of the way I feel about myself, about all of us. You are beloved just as you are. And you could be better. We all could. We can hold those truths simultaneously, and that is what we must do if we are to go beyond, to reach more people who desperately need an institution like this one with all of its history to be healthy, to continue to turn towards each other and stand for love and community. That will never stop being necessary. And the people out there who haven't found us yet need us to go beyond, to be better, to get bigger and stronger so that we can reach more people who desperately need this circle of love and connection we find and create here. So blessings on who this institution has been, who it is today, and who we will all become in our bright and bold future, and blessings on the gifts that you bring in this bowl and with your talent, your time to make it all possible. Please join me now in dedication of this morning's offering. To the work of this congregation, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action we call community. We dedicate our lives, and these are offerings.
Everyone knows you can't step into the same river twice. But really, the moment you submit to the cold and your toes hit the slippery rocks, the river you entered is already gone. The boulders have been there for eons. The river itself is nothing but movement, flowing like time, the only direction it can go. It moves without volition, without resistance, blessed by gravity to know where it must go. Your choice is more complicated, but not much. Don't imagine that you are immune to gravity or time. Take your pick. Your options are to stay safe and dry on shore, or to slip into the current and be carried away.
The opposite of anxiety is not tranquility. It is faith. This moment is about how we will honor our fourth Unitarian Universalist principle, which invites us into a search for meaning that is both free and responsible. Now, speaking of water, have any of you out there seen the trailer for the new live-action film version of Hans Christian Andersen's classic, The Little Mermaid? Yes? Okay, some of you have. If you haven't, I think you could easily, a quick Google will get you there. I have seen the trailer too. I have only seen the trailer once, and it did the job it was meant to do. It got me excited to watch that movie with my children when it will be released. I've only seen the trailer once, but what I have seen is dozens and dozens of jokes, diatribes, angry rants, responses on my social media feed arguing with someone out there, someone nobody has ever met, who holds an extreme and very racist point of view about the black actress who will play the Little Mermaid in the live-action film. This social media presence has adopted a hashtag of "Not My Mermaid." And their argument is so bigoted and so racist, I will not use these precious moments to repeat it. Nor will I use my precious energy or time or creativity toward debunking that obscene claim. Because my time, my energy, my creativity, and yours are finite. Now, my media feed has been chock full of all these jokes, thoughtful arguments, and history lessons about the uses of mermaids in folklore and myth from India, Benin, Ghana, China, Korea. Honestly, the truth is most cultures have a mythical water creature, half woman, half fish, to express themes of female oppression, immortality, exploration. Of course, a mermaid or an elf, for that matter, can be any race at all. And while this is true, all of that is true, I cannot help noticing that we are in an election year, and the date of that election is fast approaching. Now, in this moment, we have record numbers of guns on the highways and byways of Georgia. Our public schools and our libraries are under financial and legal threat like never before. Our voting rights are being slowly stripped away until one day the people will have forgotten that elections are a right and not a privilege, and that the job of the poll worker is to make voting as easy as possible. Now, our right to choose what happens to our bodies is on the ballot too, along with so many other issues vital to our freedom and to our right to thrive. But my feed is not filled with stories and images of my friends registering new voters. My feed is not filled with acquaintances attending fundraisers and events for the causes they believe in. No, my feed is filled with people fighting about a Disney movie. The people who will benefit most from this fight is the Disney company, who is happy for the constant publicity. But there is a deeper, insidious source drawing our power away from progress and into their fake fights, as Reverend Nancy MacDonald Ladd calls it, fake fights on the internet about a mythical creature based on a cartoon based on a mythical creature. Now, it is important to have representation. I do not want to diminish the importance and significance of representation. And we are having that and will have it and will continue to demand that and to feel seen by that. But you see, the people of the Not My Mermaid hashtag are not worth a single second of my time or energy because I believe they fall into one of three groups. One, their imagination has already been colonized. Someone whose imagination has been colonized, meaning they cannot imagine a mermaid being anything other than white, takes a lot to get me to say this, but probably beyond hope. Or if there is hope for them, it won't come in the form of a self-righteous tweet. Or two, another category, perhaps they are following the advice of extremist conservative operatives whose entire strategy is based on using identity politics to create infighting and division among progressives who attempt to organize for causes that would expand freedoms and services. There's a third category. They might be Russian bots. The opposite of anxiety is not tranquility. It is faith. The New York Times story broke this week. Linda Sarsour, an activist, a Muslim activist, women's rights activist, she awoke on January 23rd, 2017. She logged on the internet, and what she saw made her sick. The weekend before, she had stood in Washington at the head of the Women's March, a mobilization against President Donald Trump that surpassed all expectations on that day. Do you remember that day of that march? Crowds had begun forming at dawn, and by the time she climbed up onto the stage in Washington, they extended farther than the eye could see. More than 4 million people across the United States had taken part, placing it among the largest single-day protests in our nation's history. But then, very soon after that, something shifted. And what Linda Sarsour saw on Twitter that Monday was a torrent of confused grievance that targeted her. And in 15 years as an activist, largely advocating for the rights of Muslims, she had faced pushback, but this was of a different magnitude. A question began to form in her mind. Do my people really hate me that much? That morning, there were things going on that Ms. Sarsour could not imagine. See, more than 4,000 miles away, organizations linked to the Russian government had assigned teams to the Women's March. At desks in St. Petersburg, using models derived from advertising and public relations, copywriters were testing out social media messages critical of the Women's March movement, adopting personas of fictional Americans. They posted as Black women critical of white feminism. They posted as conservative women who felt excluded, and men who mocked participants as hairy-legged whiners. But one message performed better with audiences than any other. It singled out an element of the Women's March that might at first have seemed like a small detail. Among its 4 co-chairs was Ms. Sarsour, a Palestinian-American activist whose hijab marked her as an observant Muslim. And within days, Russian trolls were targeting her online. And over the 18 months that followed, these factories and military intelligence services put a sustained effort into discrediting the entire movement by circulating often fabricated narratives around Mrs. Sarsour. 152 different Russian accounts produced material about her. Public archives of Twitter, known to be Russian, contain over 2,600 tweets about Ms. Sarsour. Many found large audiences. This is all according to an analysis by Advanced Democracy, Inc., a nonprofit, nonpartisan organization that conducts public interest research and investigation. Now, many people know now about the story of how the Women's March movement fractured, leaving lasting scars on the American left. They still have not recovered. A fragile coalition to begin with, it headed into crisis over its co-chair's association with Louis Farrakhan, the Nation of Islam leader, who is widely condemned for his anti-Semitic statements. And when that surfaced, progressive groups distanced themselves from Ms. Sarsour and from her fellow March co-chairs, Carmen Perez, Tamika Mallory, and Bob Bland. Many, in fact, called for them to step down. New York Times. This story, amidst a lot of devastating stories out there, this devastated me particularly. That all that mistrust, so quick to infighting, so quick to lose faith in the leaders that they had, who had organized so well. Which brings me back to these questions of trust and faith. Our trust is so fragile, our faith as precious as drops of water to those who thirst. See, these times we are in now, they call for increased vigilance and protection over our deepest core values. They call for greater nuance, deeper questioning. We must flow confidently in the direction of our dreams, not allow ourselves to be drawn into fake fights, slowly, or in this case, quickly, letting our power ebb and become dispersed. See, the threats to our focus and our impact are indeed very real. They are insidious and often invisible to us. There are campaigns of division that are designed to make you suspect institutions you previously trusted. Know thyself. If it is an institution you fear, then find an individual within that institution. Seek out a human on the other end of the line and talk to them. See, this may be the time of year when we talk about surrendering to the water's flow, but I really think in this year of 2022, when we speak of flow, of the river and the current, we must recognize the power of water, the strength of water when it is mobilized towards a particular direction. How can we harness that power of water and bring it into our power of mission? The opposite of anxiety is not tranquility, it is faith. All weekend, my spouse, James, and I have started a running conversation about our family, about parenting. As our children enter new phases of development, so do the parenting strategies then shift as we try to keep up with the changing times. It keeps us nimble. It keeps us exhausted. It keeps us feeling anxious and caught off guard. What did he say? This weekend, we decided to ask ourselves to get really clear, very specific. What is our family mission statement? I mean, what are we about? What are we about on a core level that really won't change regardless of what's going on at any given moment? How can we stop responding to the whims of 7-year-olds and the advertisers, right, who are talking to them all the time, and start getting clear about our true purpose as a family? If we know what really grounds us, then our center will hold. We will not be thrown off course so easily. We can trust our inner knowing, or we can find thought partners who share a similar mission statement to our own. We can seek their counsel. It's just another one of the things church is so great for, to be parenting alongside others on their mission. But the threats to our mental clarity and our stability, our life's purpose, the work that is ours to do, those threats are very real. The greatest of these is distraction. Stay true to your purpose and the work that is yours to do. It's election season, and our focus is needed more than ever. Don't be thrown off course by fake fights. Some of these are colluding to disperse your precious energy. Listen to the still, small voice within. Listen to the wisdom of those who reflect back your mission and vision. Give in to the flow and energy of your power, moving confidently in the direction of your truest purpose. And never underestimate the power of a focused and organized populace. After all, this is how water wears away the stone and shifts the very earth beneath our feet. This is how mountains are moved. So get out there and let's move mountains. Amen?
Please rise in body or in spirit. Let's sing together. There's a river flowing in my soul. There it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my mind.
So trust in your mission. Do not be distracted by the powers that seek to disperse your most precious resource, your energy. Join a mission so powerful and clear it will flow with the strength of the river's current, and you'll know just what to do because it will be carrying you along towards freedom. Go in blessing, and as you go, bless others along your way.
There's a river flowing in my soul. There's a river flowing in my soul, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing. There's a river flowing. There's a river flowing in my